This is Harold Zawatsky. I'm the chairman of the Fairfield Board of Assessment Appeals. Today is Wednesday. The time is 6:06 p.m. It's Wednesday, April the 28th, 2021, and I'm calling this meeting to order. I will ask Prue to please announce the members who are present. Do the roll call, please.
Okay. Harold Zawatsky.
Here.
Kathleen Griffin.
Here.
Paulette Corzo.
Here.
Peter Rupert.
Here.
John Spolier.
Here.
Alexis Harrison.
Here.
We have 6 members present. Alexis, you have your hand up?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to confirm with Mr. Murray that he received my comps I submitted on behalf of one of the appellants. I sent it around 5 o'clock, I think.
This is Ross. I haven't checked my emails for a while, so.
All right. Could you please, Ross, could you please let us know if you have an opportunity to look at an email from Alexis, and if you've received any documentation to be added to the file? If not today, then certainly by tomorrow, please. Thank you.
Yep, I can just say that I have the email.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Judy has joined us as well. It's 6:08 p.m.
Judy, good to see you, my friend.
Oh, Judy, hello.
Hi, everybody.
So we do have 7 members present.
The party.
And so I would suggest that Alexis, since
Harold, sorry, we got a late start, but Judy's on to do her one beach condo and then she wants to leave. So if Alexis is
I may do a few. Hi, Kathleen. I may do a few. I may listen to a few.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay.
I'll defer to Judy because I have a few. Okay, go ahead. I don't want to, I'm not quite ready to go first.
Okay, well, Paulette has her hand up.
Thanks. I just want to make a suggestion. Since Judy and John are both here, could we do that 77 Burroughs Road, because it was his appeal, but she went to the property. They might, I don't know if Judy's going to be here and John tomorrow night.
I'd be happy to do that.
So
Okay.
this is Kathleen. I think we're going to do those ones on Monday
Oh, okay.
or whenever we can get everybody together, so that, because I think other people have a couple too. So that trickling in. So I'd rather we finish, and let the other woman had a time deadline, but if we can wait when we have everybody and just let everybody do the ones they want to do, I was going to, ask everybody to put that together. So if we get a quorum of everybody on Monday, if we can do it then or Tuesday or whenever everybody can be here, I think that's the simplest, rather than throwing them in the middle of other deliberations, because I know there's people waiting for their first decision. So
Yeah, I think that we have people listening in, so they probably want to get to their appeals. And as Kathleen is saying, Monday or Tuesday, depending on when we can get as many people as possible. And I'd like to have everyone available for one of those 2 evenings, because that's when we're going to vote on all the assessor changes and try to wrap up any loose odds and ends.
I have a concern because I have a few, Kathleen, we could talk later, but I have a few houses that are not showing up and that are still on my list that I haven't noted that we have discussed. So can we contact each other later and go over that?
sure. Or if you just send me an email with the appeal numbers, I'll check on it. It's very possible I marked them as done and they weren't done, or I get, they went to somebody else. I don't know. That's why, yeah, Ronique towards the end was finding, he found one that I think I had for him that wasn't his. So
It's possible, right? It's possible that I'm wrong too.
I'm sure I made a mistake here and there. So with 650, yeah, if you guys find ones that I don't have on the list, then please send them my way.
Got it.
This is Harold. I believe the count now is 48, but that could be revised with, if some of the appeals that we do not have recorded as being completed, or we have completed appeals that are, some people feel are still open, but we'll try to get to the bottom of it. So yes, I would suggest, Judy, if you could just send the appeal numbers to Kathleen, we can check minutes, we can check decisions, and make sure that we've covered all the bases.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so if Alexis would like to not continue right away, then maybe Judy, you can do the ones you have.
I will, and I'm really happy that Paulette is here because I think the whole board could use her assistance here. This is appeal number 493.
For what, Judy?
I'm sorry,
I didn't get it.
419?
493.
493, okay.
Yeah, if you're using the deliberation sheet, it's on the condo tab. It's
Oh,
the one
thank you.
condo, right, that's left on the condo tab.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Appeal number 493, property owner's name is James Wright. The property location is at 749 Fairfield Beach Road, and that is a condo, okay? And the town's value of $1,191,700. The appellant's opinion of fair market value is $861,300. And I make a motion that we approve the appellant's opinion of fair market value, which is $861,300. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. I think, Kathleen, I'd like you to look at the notes because I think there were some changes on here that, yeah, I think you went to an appeal first before he came here. I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Because
I think we deliberated on it and we took no action because since it was on the point and we figured we had other, properties in the point area that we might have had other condos down there, because it's technically a Reef Road neighborhood, right, on the Lantern Point. And we had other condos, the other beach condos, so we were doing them with the beach. But that's all I remember. I don't remember. So I think that's why we took no action, but.
Right. So, what I am seeing is on looking at his appeal, let me get to it. Okay, so on page 11, I'd like everybody to refer to that. So, the new construction, the original assessment was $1,133,300. Do you see all that? The 2015 assessment was a 501-2 appraisal. 2020, the first assessment was $1,296,400. And the second assessment after the informal appeal was $1,191,700. Okay, so there was some activity on here. Just want to make sure that everybody knows it. So he was talking about, the vast majority of the 19 properties over at Lantern Point had a 30 to 32% increase, excluding their house. And I know you don't like to do that, but it's 16 out of 19 of those. And if we were to just add that 32%, which is everybody else has got, he's at 661. This is a condo. This is, and I think every once in a while, the board gets caught up, well, it's a condo or it's a house. This is a condo, and we need to appraise it as such. I look at his numbers and, he's also given some comparables that we can look at that were, if you look also on page 11 on the top of that, there's some comparable sales that he's given. He's done a lot of work here. And I still am, I was kind of befuddled as to why we didn't go forward with this appeal in the beginning. And I understand that you wanted to see what else was going on. What else has happened on Lantern Point? Yes, Harold.
I was going to ask Ross if he could please bring it up on the map. I'd like to see where it is in Lantern Point.
I think this is Kathleen. I mean, I agree, you should bring it up. I think it's that big brown one across from the Seagrape, didn't we? Because I seem to remember, I think it's right on the corner of Reef Road and Fairfield Beach Road. It's an elevated 2-story. Most of the Lantern Point houses are kind of at ground level. I think it's a new build, right? 2000, yeah. It's right on the corner. If you look at the field card, it's right, that's Fairfield Beach Road, and then it does that that's where Reef Road ends.
It's not the best location in there. Go ahead.
This is Harold. We had some discussion, I believe, even yesterday, about the shared land space that a condo has. And I think there was one instance where we heard that the land value was not taken into consideration in the valuation of the condo. And I'm wondering if that is a similar situation here. Was the valuation properly done previously?
My question is,
previously, yeah.
please be more clear on that statement, though, because you're talking about the land valuation that the appraiser included a land valuation, and that is the problem, and that's why it came in so high. Is that what you're saying?
As I recall from yesterday, and correct me if I'm wrong, the values of the condos were underpriced, undervalued, I should say, because the assessor's office did not include the land value that was shared by each condo.
Yeah.
Kathleen, was there?
Yeah, I believe it was just those 2 condos down, Fairfield Beach Road. There were just 2 in the one complex. So I think there was another condo. We asked the same question and he said, no, it was fine. So it may have just been that one and there were only 2 condos, the one on the creek side and the house on the beach side. So
Okay.
I don't know, but you're right. We've done a lot of other condos and I don't know how long this is a much larger condo complex, right? Because it's got most of Lantern Points in the same complex.
Well, what is baffling to me, what is baffling to me is why are we talking about land on this condo? Are we talking about land on every other condo in the entire town?
Well, this is how, because the land value, if we look at the card, does it have any value?
You're the one that brought this up, so just a moment, let me look. Special land value, no, I'm not seeing that.
Right.
No, it's Kathleen. It's built
shouldn't be
into the
there.
model for the
Shouldn't be
condo,
there
right?
anyway.
That's what we learned last night. It gets built in when we were talking about the Glengarry. Maybe it was yesterday morning. I don't know. I'm losing track of my days. We talked about, Ross explained how condos are done and the land value is built into the model for the condo complex. So a small complex with 2, that's probably why it got missed getting coded in. But this is a large condo complex. So chances are, all the other houses would be wrong if it wasn't built into the model. So that's my guess.
Hey, Booby. Watch out.
Paulette?
Yes. What?
Nothing. Nothing. It's okay. Like I heard the dog. All right, or the cat. I guess that's the cat. Okay. So, all right, I want to make sure that we're, since you brought up the land has, we're not talking about the land with the condo, we're talking about the condo itself. So $1,191,700, and it's still an outrageously high appraisal for a condo. maybe if it was a single family house, it might be different, even if it's a detached. The fact of the matter is, it is a condo. It's a condo, and we have to consider it as such.
Yes, I agree, and I'm also surprised to see that the old assessed value was 350,840, and the new assessed value is 907,480. So I would like to ask the assessor what contributed to that increase.
Harold, this is Ross. I'd have to do some research on this. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't think it was a similar to the other situation where the common elements weren't included.
I look at some of these other condos. I don't see any reason why this should have this incredibly high appraisal and assessment on it.
Yeah, this is Paulette. That complex, I don't know if everybody's familiar with the complex. That complex is inhabited, or infested, I should say, with students during the school year. In the summer, a lot of the individual owners use it for themselves and their family, but some do rent them out. So there's 24 houses, there's 24 units in that complex in total. This one happens to be the furthest from the water and probably the worst location because it's sitting right across the street from the Sea Grape, the liquor store, and the deli. So as far as privacy, you have none. And I'm sure when the bar's in full swing and that bar is open late, it's a problem. You cannot, not that you can't, but you would not be able to rent it, any of those places, to adults during the school year from September to May. There's no way you could live down there with them. It's like an extension of the dorms at Fairfield U. So the rental potential, although they get a lot of money for the students, I'm not saying that they don't, but that's a limited audience. If Fairfield U continues to build in their property, I don't know much longer they'll let the kids live down there, but for now they do. So we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo that's been elevated, so it's FEMA compliant. But as far as the rest of it goes, it probably has a water view from back there, but it certainly isn't waterfront. And that was the point I wanted to make. It's listed as waterfront on the field card. It's not waterfront. It's 5 houses or more back to the water. So I wonder if that has something to do with the value. There are some condos, there are some units there that are definitely waterfront, right smack on the sand. But this is the furthest away from it. So I think it's way overassessed, or appraised rather, way overappraised for what it is. 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. Rented to children, students. It's only 1,566 square feet. I just can't see the rationale for that kind of a price on that.
It's 2 bedrooms. Period.
bedrooms.
It's a 2-bedroom condo. So
Not waterfront, and with limited marketability for rental. Not during 10 months of the year. It's a 10-month rental.
Okay. Those are very, very good arguments.
Yeah.
Any comments, Kathleen?
Yeah, only that it's newer. Like I lived down there for a year at 747, so I was really close to that one at 749. And it's, those houses are 1920s houses at the ground level. So this is a new construction in 2013. So that could be why there's a lot more value in it, is because it is elevated and it is, newer. I'm not saying that it's worth what the town has it as, but if you look at some of the other houses that are, one off, or the other bigger ones that are next to it, I don't know what the values are on that, but I would expect it to be higher than, the one that's to the right of it there or something, ones that are similar distance from the beach. That's all. I wouldn't want to take it lower than some of those old houses that are right next door.
So are you saying you actually lived in that complex in the school year?
We did, long time ago, but yeah,
Oh.
It was fun.
With the kids? I mean, you were an adult then?
No, I was a kid then.
Oh, that's different.
oh, okay then. There you go.
My point is, the house that I had way back then was a 1924's house, and we slept on the porch with drafty windows. And some of those houses are old and they have not been renovated. This is a new construction home built in 2013, and it's elevated. So I would just say whatever we do with it, I wouldn't want to take it lower than, you know, some of the 2,100 square feet, the ones that I can see on the picture right there. Like there's a brown one right across from it, right? I'd need to, it's tough to see with the condos, what the values, because you go to the GIS and you can't click on them. So Ross, can you call up like the one that's like kitty corner to it, or you can't do them individually?
Dude, Kathleen, did you just say you didn't want to go lower than the 2,100 square foot condos?
See the house that's across from it there, like kitty corner? Just wanted
But
to
there's
know.
1,566 square feet and it's only 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, but, well, how big is that brown house that's one back, Ross, the next one? That brown house with the roof on it? You can't, like, what's the number on that? We can't tell, right?
The one to the right of it that's slightly back from it is 733 Fairfield Beach Road.
What is it?
733.
733. So I just want to look at the card at 733 and see, you know, what are they, because we haven't done many down here. I just want to see what they are.
I think that's about 1,100 square feet. That's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm sorry, 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath. That has been renovated. Well, remember, all of these have been renovated since Sandy. They had to be.
They haven't been lifted. So that's
They haven't been lifted, no, but they're all renovated.
right. So 733 is 1,100 square feet, right? So similar size. We have it at 657 with some kind of a condo option on it.
The town does, not we.
The town, the assessors, right, the revaluation.
We're not we.
company
We're not the town.
has it at- Yeah, you feel, yeah, correct me, because you're right. So 657, 400 on 733 Fairfield Beach Road. So that's the value placed on that beach. They call it a beach condo because it's a house that's been condominiumized. It's 1,100 square feet, built in 1927. Does
It's about
not.
1,200 square feet though. It's about 1,200 square feet, not 11.
No, I'm talking about the comp. I'm just looking at the other houses on the point. See
This
what
is,
they are.
this is Harold. I mean, the appellate's market opinion of value is $861,300, which is higher than the town's value on the one property that you specify.
Looking for some relative, yeah.
Okay?
And he gave a comp of a house down the street, right, that's also been condoized, but that's a little different. That one's on the beach. In his backup, he had one condo down the street. He has a house, right, that's a condo.
Is there any new information that we wish to add?
It would be, no, but I'm just saying that I would be okay with his requested value. I spent a lot of
I'm
time,
absolutely okay with it. I'm sorry, Paulette.
I've spent a lot of time renting those out and working with them. And, you know, not so with the kids, a couple of times with the kids. I do rent some of them to the kids, but in the summer too. So I've been in most of them. And I just don't see that being, if he's happy with that number, I can live with that number. I don't think it should be higher.
Yeah, and he has an appraisal, but it's from 2013, right? So it's
Yeah,
you don't need to spend time on that. Yeah.
What do we think? The appraisal was from 2013, you say?
Right. Yes.
I didn't consider that in my decision. It's too old.
Well, I can't even look at it because it's way too old, right? But everything Anthony's presented, along with what we already know about the beach and about the location of this particular property, he's right in line with the 861.3. And I'm ready to vote for it.
Any further comment or discussion?
The only question I have.
John has his hand up.
This is John. Paulette, Judy, is this one, just for my understanding, is there only one residence in this building or are there multiple residents?
One. It's
One.
one unit.
Okay. So it's
Okay,
one unit in a
Paulette?
condo complex, correct? Then,
But that every one of those that looks like single family, that's the complex. There's 24 single family style units in that complex.
Detached condos.
gotcha.
Detached that way, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This is Harold. Are for the most part, are all of them individually owned or are they owned by a group?
No, well, they're individually owned, but some of them might be owned by like partners, like two couples or something like that. But it's not a group thing. They're all individually
Okay,
deeded, all individually owned.
got it. Thank you. Paulette, did you have your hand up for more
Yeah,
comment?
I had a question for Ross. As I said earlier, I've noticed on the field card that it says waterfront, and that isn't waterfront. Does that make a difference in the town's value? Or is it just because it's on the water side?
And I don't have the card up at the moment. Whereabouts on the card is it?
Where did I see it? Where I think where, it talks about the neighborhood it's in. Let me see. I'll have to go to my other screen here.
The location is a BPR.
No, that's on the landline, and that would not make a difference on a condo.
But it's waterfront condo. Okay. All right. I just wondered. Then I'm fine. I'm ready to vote.
Nope.
Okay. I would like to call a vote too, unless there's further discussion or comment. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value of the $861,300, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. There are 7 in favor, no opposed, and no abstentions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. It's so great when this board works really well.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say that there were some very convincing arguments presented, so
Right. Thank you all
So-
very much.
to your credit. Good facts. Okay. Judy, do you have more? Or is
That's
that
it for B.
Oh, you know what? I'll listen. I'll listen for a few other. I think Alexis has a few.
Absolutely.
I have a few I can do. I'm gonna skip this. No, is Ken coming on or not? I wasn't sure. I know we talked about that last night.
I'm sorry, is who coming on?
Ken?
Ken can come on. It'll probably be closer to, it'll be sometime after 7 o'clock.
Okay, great. Thank you. Cool. All right, then we will go to, I think, 28 Lighthouse Point.
Number?
Getting it? It's 646.
Is that
646.
residential?
Pardon?
Is that residential?
It is, yep.
And
And
what
the
was the
owner
number?
is,
I'm sorry.
God, I'm sorry, God.
Oh, 28 light.
This is Harold. Could you please repeat the appeal number?
Yep, 646.
646?
Got it.
Thank you.
The owner is Paul J. Ganem. So I'd like to make a motion to bring down the town's value of $842,000 to the appellant's opinion of fair market value to $700,000. So I'll be honest with you,
Do we have a
thought-
second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Judy seconds.
Okay, great, thank you. So it didn't seem, the appellant didn't really bring a lot of additional evidence to the hearing, which I was surprised about given, it's a hearing. But he did say, the property at 96 College Place was under contract in February of this past year for no more than $750,000. That's what he said. And he said the valuation is just excessive and it's just, more than what it should be.
So would this, Alexis, would this be a case where he might have overpaid? Because it looks like that the house was purchased in January of 2020 for $825.
So based on what he told me, John, he said it was under contract this past February, not January of 2020.
No. The 28 Lighthouse Point was purchased in January of 2020, not the College Place one.
Oh, sorry. Yep, you're right. Sorry.
For $825. Okay.
So again, Mr. Gammon really didn't bring a lot of, evidence to the hearing that we had earlier in March. he did bring forth 96 College Place, which is another house that his family owns, and that's he said that was a similar house, or a house that's actually even better than what the subject is appealing. That was at $750,000.
I'm gonna, if I can add something to that, I just looked that up in the MLS. It was listed at 750, closed at 787 on March 2nd of this year. So the one thing to remember about that is that it is also, 5 months later, and then the prices have gone up. So that's just an FYI.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. I walked those 3 Gannon properties because I was curious to see that new construction one that he has on the beach. So this is 2 houses from the beach. It's one off the beach. So it's not, College Place is the street across behind the Seagrape. So this is a much better location than the College Place.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty subjective, I think, comment to make. I mean, it could be good for others. I don't think I would want to live there.
Ross is showing us the location of the house.
I think all 3 of them are in that same on Lighthouse, whatever that road is.
If you like
Road.
traffic and a lot of drunk students, maybe that's a good location for you, but I don't know if that would be good for me.
I was offered a beer, so yeah, you get this, but you get the same thing on College Place. So I would say that they're similar in terms of the students, because College Place is full of students as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty subjective comment though, so I don't think that has any bearing on this.
Okay, well, I was offered a beer when I was down there, so I get it.
This is Harold.
Hope you feel good.
I believe we have been giving great weight to sales information, selling prices in the period. This is early in the year, before the pandemic was really recognized and affecting prices. So I don't see that the town's value is that far off from the sales price that took place in January. I think it was January, correct?
Oh, it was March.
March, okay.
It was in March.
So-
That's
Wait,
5
wait.
months. That's a lot.
Wait, are you talking about March being the College Place one?
Yeah,
Okay, of 2021.
right.
Okay, I think Harold's talking about 28 Lighthouse Point being
Okay.
sold in January of 2020 for $825. And Harold, right, is that what you're talking about? And then time appreciation over
Yes.
that? Okay.
Giving some credit to the time appreciation, it was pre when the pandemic was even recognized, many. So I'm ready to
Oh,
vote on
I'd
this.
say, no, I want to, Mr. Ganem said it was under contract in February 2021, just a few weeks before he came before me, and it was at $750,000 under contract in February of 2021.
That's the
Correct.
College Place,
No,
right?
That's college.
aren't we at 28 Lighthouse Point? I'm a little confused.
That's correct. I'm looking at the appeal for 28 Lighthouse Point. Okay,
We're talking about the comparable, which is on college.
I got it.
Was that purchase an arm's length transaction on January 26th of 2020?
28th. Yes,
Ja-
it looks like it was a qualified sale, according to the
the card is at the bottom of the record list. Yep. So I'd like to call a vote. Unless anyone needs more time or has some more comment. No? All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. All those, I have 1. I have 2 in favor of granting. Opposed, please raise your hand. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And Peter makes 5. Now I can see everybody. 5. The motion is not carried. The appeal is not granted. The vote is 2 in favor, 5 opposed, no abstentions. Thank you.
This is Kathleen. Harold, can you read who was in favor into the
Yes,
record?
in favor was Paulette and Judy.
Thank you.
Yes, for the minutes, Paulette and Judy were in favor.
Okay.
Very good, thank you. I will move right along to 38 Lighthouse Point, appeal number 647. Again, the owner is Paul J. Ganem. I'd like to make a motion to bring down the town's value from $847,000 to $700,000.
I'll second it. It's John.
Thank you, John. And
Okay,
again,
I'm sorry, I need this number again, please.
oh, sure, it's 647.
Thank you.
I didn't really feel like Mr. Gannon brought a lot of sufficient evidence to the hearing, to be honest with you. He brought similar comps that he showcased in other, here in other deliberations, other hearings. He brought up 96 College Place as well as 1240 Fairfield Beach Road.
And 1240 Fairfield Beach Road, I believe, is a condo. Because that was
it's a unit. Yeah, exactly.
because that was used in the comp with Judy's presentation just now, and I was trying to pull that up, but I wasn't able to.
I mean,
But
it's a fairly
a
large condo.
condo.
I mean, it's not just has 3 bathrooms, 5 bedrooms. I mean, it's pretty large, right? Maybe it was
I
divided,
couldn't
guess.
tell from that one, but I guess
It's on,
from-
this is Kathleen, I think it's on the creek side because it has an even number. Mhm.
Yeah, there's 240 or 1240 and 1241 sold together at the same time. And those
He
are
just
2
felt like they were
condos.
overpriced. I mean, he didn't really bring substantial evidence to the hearing.
Okay.
This is Harold. Again, I'd like to point out that we do lend great weight to the sales price. And this house was purchased in January of 2020, and the sales price at that time was $825,000. The town has it valued at $847,000. So even with a small increase due to time to the October 1st date, I think the town's value is consistent and in line. So unless there's further comment or people need more time, I'd like to call a vote. All those in favor? I'm sorry, who's speaking?
Paulette, I'm sorry. There's something about the letter in here from the town. Did anybody read it? Has to do with,
Yeah, Mr. Ganem gave that to me at the end of the hearing, and he's like, I don't know what you want to do with it.
Jim went
Yeah.
about talking 38 and 46 Lighthouse Point.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this one has an area. There's a 29, 38, and 46. It appears that it's a single parcel of parkings.
Okay. I've read it.
Yeah, so can I just, isn't this all 3 of these properties, or I'm sorry, the last 2 properties, they're all owned by the same owner, and the large property on the beach that we deliberated last week,
Right.
right?
Yes,
Which does
true.
make the 3 parcels, more valuable. Yeah.
I don't believe
Yeah,
that Jim Wentz
I
letter,
hear the last part, what you said.
I don't believe that Jim Wentz letter speaks to valuation.
Well, it speaks to the fact that these 2 parcels are being looked at as one. He would need a variance to do stuff with them. And that it looks like there's something that has to do with parking. If the lots are to be occupied separately, number 38 would need 2 parking spaces. So it's not just a straightforward thing. And I don't know that it has to do with the, I don't know. We didn't talk about 46, so I don't even know and I don't know if that's coming next or not. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
46 will be coming up next.
Let's vote on this based upon the information that we have available to us. I did look at the Jim Wentz letter. I'm going to call a vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. I have 2 in favor. Opposed, please raise your hand. I have 5 opposed. The vote is 2 in favor, 5 opposed, no abstentions. The appeal is not granted. It is denied, and Paulette and Judy voted in favor. Thank you.
Okay, and then we will go to the number 648, 46 Lighthouse Point. Again, that's owned by the Ganem family, and he'd like to bring the town. I'd like to make a motion to bring the town's value down from 264,000 to 200, down to the appellant's opinion fair market value to $150,000.
This is Harold. I'll second it.
Go for it, Harold.
So I think to your point, Paulette, the field card indicates that the subject property was purchased for $250,000 in January of 2020, and the zoning, that letter from Jim Went claims that the property provides parking for number 38 and therefore it can't be developed. So maybe there are some issues there. The zoning department claims that it harms the property value, and that was only discovered, after the purchase of the home. So they just felt the value is over excessive just based on that and the market conditions.
This is Harold. Ross, could you bring that up on the map, please? Thank you. So
Go ahead, Harold.
this is Harold. This is adjacent to the property 36 Lighthouse Point, and it's owned by the same appellant. Okay.
And this is John. It sounds like, so they're saying that, and I think Jim Wentz note was saying that 46 Lighthouse Point is being used as parking and access to 38 Lighthouse Point.
38. I said 36. I stand corrected. This is Harold.
I think that's 38. I almost merged the lots together with it.
This is Harold. Is the access to this lot from the long driveway, and not from the parking area?
Right, it's from the long drive. Parking area belongs to Lantern Point. That does
Right.
not belong.
Right.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. These are not condos. They're individual homes on that, what is it, Lighthouse Road or something, whatever the name of that street is there. It goes, dead ends at the water, or, yeah. So they are private residences.
I think Jim Wentz letter, I have to read it again, but I think, did it say that even if you combine the lots, let's see.
I think that's what it said, Paulette, is even if you combine it, you couldn't really build on them because it's
Really
not
built on it.
9,000 square feet.
Right, well, you need a variance, right? I think that's what he said.
You would need-
Yes, because if the building occupies more than 20% of the area of the land, then you can't add to the structure or build another structure on it. And it doesn't appear that there was a structure on there previously, because if it did have a structure on it, then you could build to the same footprint, even though something was there before and it was torn down. But it doesn't look like there was any I can't see any history of anything being on there before.
This is
So,
Paul. Sorry, Harold.
yes,
I'm just gonna say that he would need a variance, but it also says that it's possible he would need relief from other design requirements in the district. So it's not so simple as, okay, I got a variance, I'm good to go, they'll give it to me, they give it to everybody else. He may need go through other hoops to get this approved. So it's not a slam dunk, just give him a variance and let's go. So I
right.
think he has a point that, he didn't know it, and maybe he should have, but he didn't. So if he didn't know that, and now he's saying that he can't really use it to its, the highest and best use of it is like, you almost have to leave it alone, then I think he has a point that maybe he did pay too much for it, and it's overvalued by the town as well. So I would not have a problem agreeing to this appeal, only because there's the letter from Jim Went kind of cements it that, he's not making it up. There are some issues there, and it's not going to be easy. Maybe at some point he'll get a building on it, but not now. And when he does, they can jack up his taxes.
Exactly. Paulette, I'm right with you.
Yeah, I would say one thing to that, and that is that the letter is dated in 2018, so he knew what the condition was on this property prior to purchasing it.
Or at
Letter-
least should have known.
Let's see.
Well, it got into this folder somehow.
Oh, it wasn't addressed to him. He might not have seen this letter until after he bought it. The letter was
No,
addressed
and
to
it's,
He presented to me during the hearing, Paula.
yeah, and in his note, it's on page 3, it says, only discovering zoning's claim following the purchase.
Okay,
Yeah, notice that November 2nd letter was not addressed to Gannon. It was addressed to somebody else.
all right, I
I
understand.
think it was a previous owner, right?
Right, so he may not have seen that until later on. I can't imagine a man that who's an attorney. I think he's an attorney too, right? They own a
He
lot
is
of
The judge,
property.
too.
If he saw this beforehand, he probably would. I can't imagine he would still buy it. Not for that price, anyway.
Yeah, he would have used it as leverage to get a better price. He wouldn't have
Oh,
paid too.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, okay, that clears up the question of the date of the letter and the knowledge that he may or may not have had. So that's a good point. Again, I point to the fact that on January of 29th, 2020, this property was purchased for $250,000. So I have a problem getting to his requested value of $150,000 when we have sales data reflecting what the purchase price was at that time.
But this is Paulette, but what we don't have is data telling us that a lot that cannot be built upon, even if it's combined with another lot, is worth that money, even though prices have gone up. Not every piece of property went up. And this one may not have, because if it's not worth what he paid for it if you can't do what he wants to do with it. If we have another comp that shows that there's a property like it sold for 250, then yeah, you're right. It's not, they shouldn't be decreased in value. We don't have that. This is an individual issue here. I don't
But
think we're going to find.
at the same time, we don't have a comp that says, that was sold for same size, sold for 150.
This is Kathleen. It did sell the year before for 219. It looks like it's an unqualified sale, but there is a line item from 19 for 218 or 219 on the field card.
But we're not looking at unqualified sales, I thought, or now we are, because it works for us.
You know,
That's why I preface it by saying it is unqualified. However, there is a line there. I don't know who Larkham Kendall Navigation is. I don't know why they would have purchased it unqualified, but just saying there is a line item there. I think these are the right? The families that owned all those lots together. This is part of that transfer, it looks like.
This is Harold. There's a qualified sale for the amount of $250,000. This is not the first purchase, as we see, that this gentleman has made in this area. He's a sophisticated purchaser of property, as I believe, as a result of purchasing other properties at the same time. I think that we've heard an argument for and against. So unless someone needs more time, I would like to call a vote.
But I just need 1 minute to clarify what we're saying.
Who's speaking?
Paulette, so we're saying that the person who bought the lot, which he believed to be the fair market value, which by the way, he is now his own comp, because he paid $250 for what he thought was a lot he could use. And now we're saying that he bought it, but we have no other comps, so we can't say that there's anything that's less. And he should have known better, even though he didn't know better. And he's an officer of the court, which means he swore to tell the truth, even if we didn't swear him in. So now we're saying, well, it's too bad if you didn't know. You probably did know, so we're not going to give it to you. Is that what I'm getting, or am I not understanding what we're doing? We're refusing to drop the value of a lot that's not a building lot when it was purchased as one, because we have no reason not to, but we're going to do that. We have no valid reason not to, but we're just going to say that. Am I not getting it?
I think you're getting it from your standpoint, but I don't know if $150,000, just because he says that's what he thinks it's worth, is a proper estimate of value. I cannot just take on face value that he says, well, it should be 150 because I say so, okay? And caveat emptor, and that means buyer beware. If he did not have all, excuse me, Paulette, I let you speak.
Go ahead, speak.
If he purchased it for $250,000, bottom line is that's what he purchased it for. I can't have somebody come along and say, I think this is only worth $50 or $100 or $150 without proof, okay? And he hasn't provided any proof. So given that understanding, and I believe that that's true what I'm saying, he did purchase it for $250,000 in January of 2020, and he has come up with a number without any way of validating that number is correct. So I have to go with the town's value because he has not proven to me personally that the $150,000 is a right number. Okay, so I would like to call a vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value of $150,000, please raise your hand. I have 2 in favor, 3 in favor, opposed, 4 opposed. The appeal is not granted. The motion is denied. The vote is 3 in favor and 4 opposed. Judy, Alexis, and Paulette in favor.
Paulette, I just want to say that it's interesting that 2 of the 3 people that voted for it are people that sell real estate all day long, every day, 7 days a week. Let that not be any consideration.
Okay, Alexis, you have another? I'm sorry, it broke up a little bit.
Oh, I missed
Still
that.
broke up. Are you going to 649?
Having my
I bet that's where we're going.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, now we can.
Okay,
I hear
sorry
you.
about that. I had the worst internet connection over here. I don't know why. Anyway, all right. Another Gannon property. So this is appeal number 649. So I'd like to make a motion to bring the town's value down of $684,000 to the appellant's fair market value of $350,000. Again, the address is 1025 River Beach Road.
I'll second that. It's Judy.
Thank you. Again, so, I spoke obviously to Mr. Ganem, who is an officer of the court, and he just mentioned this is a very, small, beach cottage. It's a very old beach cottage. It was built in 1918. There have been no, improvements over the years, basically. there are no beach, there's no beach access, there are no views, there's vinyl sidings, that doesn't match. It's a pretty, fairly rundown place, if you will. Bad roof, undersized lot. He just felt the valuation is pretty excessive in light of the overall, market conditions down the beach. And he didn't really supply any additional comps or comparisons other than what's in the file. So that's really all I have to say about this property. Again, he didn't really bring a lot of other evidence to the hearing.
96 College Place is in there. This is John.
Again,
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not a
Um,
realtor, John, but I'm not sure if I would qualify that as a comparison.
Yeah, no, and he also put in the 1240 Fairfield Beach Road as a comp with it.
I did a drive by the other day too, and it looks as it is. It's really run down. It looks like he probably runs it to college kids. Doesn't look like it holds like a lot of value, but that can be pretty subjective.
Looks like there were some improvements with permits pulled in 2020, but it looks like it wasn't complete on 10/1. Go ahead.
So this is Harold. What do we want to do with an appeal that has no comps and does not have any support for the reduction?
We can certainly vote on it. I mean, we've done that before, Harold, so that's up to you as chairman, but I think we've done that before.
I'm going to wait to see if anyone needs more time or anyone has some comments or thoughts. If
No,
not,
this is-
I'll call the vote.
Fine.
Kathleen, did you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, this is similar to the one that he purchased for 8 something on the Point, right? They're beach rentals, student beach rentals. So I would say that this is similar to the other 2 that he paid in the 8s for. So I don't see support for the 350 number.
Right, and there's nothing that was presented, this is Harold speaking, to support that.
Not that number, no.
Okay,
No.
so I'm going to call a vote. Yes, Judy.
I'd like to say something that, I really and truly want to help every single appellant that comes before us and do whatever we can, or do my part to do whatever we can. I'm personally not seeing the 350. So that.
Thank you, Judy. And I think that we are all in the same position of wanting to hear these appeals to see if we can reduce values for the appellants when it's appropriate and supported to do so. So I'll call a vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value of $350,000, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Abstentions? Oh,
I'm opposed. Sorry, I am opposed.
opposed. It's unanimous. The vote is 0-7-0. Unanimous. The appeal is not granted. The appeal is denied.
Excuse me, this is Ross, Harold, and everyone. Ken is going to be calling in a few minutes or in a few moments. So if you want to hold up and get him in.
Yes. So why don't we, that was Judy, was that Alexis's appeal? Yes, Alexis. So if you could bring it back to the table if you want, and then we can look at it while we hear from Ken.
Sure, thank you. So everybody who's here, this is number 528. And I did submit some comps to Ross, which I think he scanned in. I sent them in around 5 o'clock or so. I think he put them in. So we'll just wait for Ken, is that it, or?
You can probably, this is Kathleen. Alexa, did you read it into the record with a second yet?
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, yep.
Let's
I'll
do
do
that.
Yep, so I'd like to make a motion to bring down the town's value of 193 Fairfield Beach Road from $5.180.7 million to $4.5 even million.
Thank you.
This is John. I'll second it.
Thank you.
So just let me know when you guys want to go. So
So-
again, can everybody see the comps that are in the file? I just want to
Are
make
they the
sure.
ones starting on page 15?
Go down there.
Looks
Yeah, so
like
that
there's
would be
531 Fairfield Beach Road.
831, 475.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the field cards are there, but I don't see the comps.
Oh,
Or are the field cards the comps?
No.
wait, let me make sure I have everything here, guys.
Oh, no, it's here.
Just brought, Alexa
It's
sent me
there.
3 field cards, so you may have to hit refresh.
Oh, okay.
6, starting from page
The
6.
file should be 20 pages long.
Yep.
Okay.
And they're using the field cards as the comps because they highlighted or all the sale dates. There are 2020 for the 3 that were put in. Except for the one at 531. That's a 2014 sale that was unqualified.
So again, you
Can
know,
we
at
have
a
a
high
call
level,
to user 5? That could be Ken.
is Ken on?
Yeah, that's me. I'm just gonna hang back and wait till you need me.
All right, and Ken, thank you so much for taking time on your Wednesday evening to join us. Really appreciate it. Again,
no
Alexis
problem.
here.
My pleasure.
Cool. So you probably remember this property. So at a high level, the reason for the appeal is the market value. The owner believes far exceeds what the comparable properties are in the area. He also argued that the living area is not accurate, which I think that's why Ken is on tonight, and you know, a few other reasons. And he put together a fairly comprehensive case here, as you can see in the executive summary. He put together, you know, fair market sales analysis for the 7 most recent sales in the area as of the date he came into the hearing, which was I think March 3rd. And his property, 193 Fairfield Beach Road, was about 30% higher per square foot than the other sales in the area. And again, it was just really high for him. He and his wife bought the property, and sadly, actually, his wife passed away last year. He mentioned, and you know, he's been trying to keep the house for his young children, you know, as they get through this terrible period. So I will pause there. Any questions or anything that you guys want to ask before I proceed?
I am absolutely impressed with the data that he has given forth. It paints a really important picture as to the property value. And he, you know, in my opinion, when I look at this, he's actually being generous with the town with his request. Because based on this, I would say that he could actually, he could have actually gone lower. That's my thought. I'm looking at everything. I mean, look, it's pretty black and white and very easy to read and very easy to see, even if you're not a real estate agent.
This is Harold. I'd like to just state that the reason that we've asked Ken to join us is because he is an assessor in the town's assessor's office, and he did do an inspection of this property. And the question that arose last time was there was a discrepancy in the living space, the square footage of the living space in the home. So it was requested that Ken be present since he was the one who did the last measurements and inspection of the home. So do we want to ask what Ken found? I mean, I'd be interested in finding out what Ken's measurements told us.
Yeah, and I'll just give you, let me just, give some additional context to that. Harold, thank you for that. The owner did say that he just felt that the square footage was a little over measured, if you will. And he just felt it was about 500 square feet more than what he felt the house was. But I know Ken has been there, so that's really what, preceded this conversation. So go ahead.
Just so you know, we did come up with an initial inspection value associated with the square footage. And, right off the bat, we have a tendency to rely heavily on plans and things like that, especially with the pre-sketching and whatnot, because sometimes we're able to gain access to houses, sometimes not. In this particular situation, he did deviate from the plans to some degree. And there were areas that were thought to be finished, like the area of, if you're looking at the property itself, there's that garage area, and then it has the mansard roof. That was originally going to be some sort of game room, gathering space for the kids to play ping pong or whatever it happened to be. Instead, they elected not to put in a floor, so now it's actually fully open space. 30 feet. They have a basketball hoop set up in there and with plenty of ceiling clearance. So that was one of the errors, if you will, that I corrected when I was out there. And then also from a standpoint of what did I do when I was out there, I did walk around the entire property, but I also measured the entire property. So from a standpoint of the dimensions of the dwelling itself, and took into account everything. So, everything that I did from a standpoint of working up the square footage was within the standard practices that I would say the office adheres to, if you will. And I know for one of the areas that he brought to my attention when I was out there, other than the area above the garage, was the open cathedral area that goes up 3 stories. It's cathedral first story, second story, and then all the way up into the attic, which is a finished office area for him. So, it's just he, within his diagram, he was trying to take allowances for like the stair areas and things like that. And we customarily deal with strictly the open air area, if you will. And with that, that's what my sketch is dictating, is the actual open air area rather than the staircase itself. Because within living area, within our sketches, staircases are considered part of the living area, even though, they're certainly functional, but they're, no one's hanging out really on the stairs, if you will. But they are considered part of the living area. And it's almost like if you went into one of these massive colonials with the center fireplace, well, that no one's living in the fireplace, but yet it gets incorporated or swept within the square footage of the dwelling itself. So, yes, if you were to stretch a tape interior-wise, you might come up with a slightly different number. And I did come up with a different number, but I would say after I went through it, I feel pretty confident I wasn't casual about putting together my square footage, if you will. So, and then one of the things he made mention of when I was out there was, he thought the dwelling itself, he compared himself to a neighbor, which he felt was of a higher ilk than him. I thought, certainly his house was in keeping, with the standard of that level of construction, if you will. So I don't know if that offers you any clarity, but.
So would you say, because I think we have roughly the living area is 6. Oh, let me look at one. Sorry. So I think we have, what I see on Vision Appraisal, it's 5,854. That's a living area. So we're saying that's accurate or not That's accurate, right?
I would say that's accurate because, like I said, you know, that was after I did the full walkthrough. And then with that, not just a walkthrough, but an actual stretching of the tape on every corner of the house itself. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a tight as job as I could do. You know, if you wanted me to look it over again, I'd be happy to, but I know I you know, like I said, there was nothing casual about going out there on that. And because it's, like I said, it's a very involved house in itself.
Mhm. Thank you
But
for that.
on this, it says attic finished, and didn't you just say that the attic wasn't finished?
No, it's finished. I said that's where his office is. I said the
So
cathedral
what
goes
was
all
the
the way up
open
to
space?
It's not an atrium,
the-
or?
He was talking about the cathedral area, which is this oval cathedral that goes from the first floor all the way to the third floor. And that area was taken into consideration within my sketch. And I made reference to the fact that it goes all the way up to the third floor, which is where his office is.
And I have a question. This is Paulette. You said
Yep.
you said you thought the inside of the house was kind of in keeping with, you know, modern construction. It doesn't
Yep.
look like real improvements were done based on the field card. I know not everybody puts them on like they should, but to me, it looks like the same as it did when I look at the pictures of it. It's a 2017. I don't consider that to be what people would look at today as totally modern. I mean, it looks like it's an old house, unless he's done something in there that I don't know about. You know,
Oh, you know, I
updated, more tricked out.
Oh, no, I mean, I would say what photos were shared were probably an accurate depiction of what's there. You know, I mean, I thought it was, you know, a well done, you know, a house that was in keeping with the area.
This is Harold. I have a question. You have a grade on this house of 12. Is that in keeping with similar homes of this quality in the area?
I must admit, Harold, I can't offer you as much clarity on that because that would be at the time of the revaluation, you know, a lot of these grades and were reset as well as, you know, viewed in a different light, you know, so all I can speak to is what I saw when I was out there and, you know, as from a square footage standpoint, but from a grade standpoint, obviously they're grading it based on October 1, 2020, and I know there was some shifting of grades, if you will, as far as their, you know, working of that angle, if you will.
Thank you. So two other comments.
Ken, were you on the board? Oh, sorry, I just wanted to know what date was Ken out there?
I was just going to say, looking at the card, we can see that Ken was out there 3 times in recent history, in 3/10/2020, and a change was made at that time. 10/1/19, and a change was made at that time, and 9/26, 9/26, or is that a 5? 26/2018, and a change was made at that time. And so I think that looking at this house, certainly it is newer construction, although it looks like the kind of house that I would expect to see in France, in Brittany, or on the Atlantic coast, mansard roofs, the adornment of the windows on the top, the staircase going up the front. I think it was built to look that way. It was built to look that way. It's not an antique.
No, it's not. I don't think anyone thinks it's an antique.
Right.
So the last time Ken was there was over a year ago. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Any questions for Ken? Yes, Kathleen.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, not for Ken. No.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I thank you very much. And if you have any further questions, I'll be happy to hop on if you need me.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you very much for your help.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
my pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Kathleen, did you have a question or?
I had a comment. So, just a couple things, but his comps, unless I'm mistaken, he's using square footage comparisons, right? When he's doing his comparable numbers on the sheets. That's what in looking at that's what I saw him doing as opposed to analyzing the sales. So I did look at he does have a couple comparable
I think
sales
he
in
did
there.
both. No, I think he analyzed both.
Okay, so I'm also I looked at the comparable sales too. So I just wanted to point that out on the square footage. So he's got a couple, I mean, this is the FB1 neighborhood, right? It's over closer to Penfield Pavilion. These are the highest valued land values. So I looked through his comps to see what he provided for a comp in the FB1 area, because he's got a couple in FB8, but this is the higher. So the comp he has in there is, what did I just write down?
It's 475 Fairfield Beach Road.
Thank you. Yeah, 475 Fairfield Beach Road. It sold for $4,650,000 in September of 2020. So I think that's a good, that's a very good sale, a couple doors down from him. The land value is almost identical. Where the difference of the value is in the house. And so if you look at the comp, it is I don't know, Ross, if you can bring it up, but it is a 1983, modern home. Has a very high grade on it, but a higher depreciation. It does have some outbuildings on it, and it sold for $4.6 million, but it was built in 1983 and it is modern. So I would say his home, being similar square footage and all of that, his is a little bigger. His is at 5,800 square feet. That's 5,500 square feet. I don't see him being lower than that comp. Is that him there at 193?
He's 193, yep.
But that's his house at 193.
Yeah.
And then.
Wow, did you see that
Did you want
475
the comp?
Fairfield Beach Road? Oh my gosh.
It's a modern home, right? Older
That is
modern home.
outstanding. And you know what? There is something that I'd also like to say, and Paulette can back me up on it. Although that house is, you're looking, it looks nice to you. It's not a house that we normally would see on Fairfield Beach Road. And those mansard style colonials are not well sought after. It's super customized. So with what he's got, that look would fit very well in with Southport, but it doesn't fit so well on Fairfield Beach. And we need to just adjust it. I think the house is absolutely beautiful, but it's very customized. Paulette?
This is Paulette. If you looked at the pictures of this house, yes, it was built in the 80s, but if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know it by looking at the house. Obviously, much work has been done in there, unless they were really good at keeping it up. This has a beautiful pool, built-in pool right off the back, an outdoor kitchen. I mean, just look at it. This is certainly high quality. Look inside. Look at the finishing touches in there, the finished product in there.
Wow. That house belongs like on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. That's how pretty it is. I mean, it has that really unique beach flavor, which this one does not. So, I have to, although I like both of them, I'm not saying anything bad about the subject. What I'm just saying is the other one that we're looking at, a 475, is much, much, much more marketable.
Can you move to the, Ross, this is Kathleen. Can you show the 475? The only other thing I wanted to add to that is I believe the subject is FEMA compliant and the other one is not. And so that adds, at least in terms of the way that the reval valued the properties, it adds 10%. So that's the contemporary, right? That sold for 4.6 million.
Wow.
I would also, this is John, I just also want to say, I gotta see where the other one is on there. Okay, so this 475 has neighbors on both sides.
Well, there's the
whereas-
pavilions there, right? I mean,
He's got the grassy area.
He
No,
has the
he's got grass
grassy
between
area.
himself. Yeah, it's really nice. He's nobody on
On
his
one
west
side.
Yeah.
Say something before everybody just goes in and just decides why they're not going to agree. Could Alexa please finish the appeal, or let one of us finish what we were saying? I mean, you're ripping it apart. We haven't even finished yet.
yeah, I know that's what happens on this board. But
Yeah. And we're
another point I was going to make is 433 is also another relevant comp that Mr. Scalera brought up. It was built at the same time as his house, and it was super premium construction that he mentioned. And it's actually, he said, more level above his, because he knows the builder. He just happened to know that. And that's, he just felt that was, something to look at as well. Paula, do you want to add anything more? I know that you're a realtor, you go down this area a lot.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, if you, first of all, look again at that. If you can't see it, I don't know if everybody has access to it. I know she can get into Realtor or whatever. Look at the back of that house. They've made perfect use. They've designed it to be like you're outdoors. So what if there's a house next door to it? Most of these houses have houses next door to them. His house, if you pull up his house and look at the inside of it, you'll see a huge difference in the quality. Okay, the lands are similar, but the inside of his house, although Ken feels that it's modern, that's fine. But if for a market standpoint and marketability and market value, it is not. Okay, and this thing about FB1 and FB8, I hate to get into it again, but one of the comps that's there is not in FB1. That was custom built. That was 831, I think it is. I'm looking at my sheet here. 831. Okay, that house was custom built. The person who built that paid over $2 million for the land, tore down the house, and put brand new a few years ago. That is also a very high-end home. Okay, but it's in a different neighborhood. Those made-up neighborhoods again. It's the price of it is comparable to this one. So when you have sales that show that it doesn't matter what neighborhood you're in, you're getting around, and that now his house is smaller. So yes, it's smaller, it's less money. But this thing about this first part of the beach being so valuable, that part of the beach is the main road. There's no privacy there. How could that be the gold? There's nothing, it's just a road like every other main road. WL line, people's whizzing up and down.
I went down to his house. It's very busy, honestly.
Yeah. So I don't, but that's done. It's done and over with. But I'm just pointing out that that's why I have such trouble accepting it when I see what's done. And I'm like, how could that be? It's not, it shouldn't be, but it is. So here's one right in our own neighborhood at 4650. Go take a look at the inside of his and try to tell me that those are comparable, because they're not. This one is far superior in construction, design, layout for today's buyer. His house, I hate to say it, his house disappoints on the inside when you see the outside.
I think he's being pretty fair, and I think he's laid out a pretty good case in his supplemental information. Honestly,
Exemplary, Alexis, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Exemplary, as I look at this, there would be no question in my mind that would be the right number. He's not trying to undervalue his property. All he wants to do is have it properly appraised through the town.
So if this is priced, this sold for 4650, his can't possibly be worth $5 million. It just can't.
Exactly. Exactly. That's your ceiling.
Right. So if people don't want to go to his number because they feel they have to cheap out at her price, go to her price. Her house is still better, far more marketable, and much more updated. But there's not much difference between the two. I would be happy with going to her price, even though I think his should be less. But in fairness and trying to get it done, I don't think it should be any more than hers.
This is Harold. What about the neighbors' homes to the left and to the right?
What does it matter? Homes, hers or his, Harold?
To the subject property.
I'd have to pull it up. I'm looking at hers right now, but I can easily go to his.
we're talking about the Hanson property?
I'm talking about 191, let's say.
I want to do it. Okay.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. The Hanson one didn't sell, or it was a tear down, but the town's value on the Hanson property is 5.6. So it's $500,000 higher than his property, the
But
town
it's
value on it.
Didn't
I'm
sell.
not saying town value's right, but that's comparing, he is
Yeah,
lower
it's
than the
also-
Hampton property.
Yeah, it's
Well,
also
it's just different
8,400
construction.
square feet.
Yeah, so he's,
Besides that, it's 8,413 square feet.
Wow.
I mean, 433 was built at the same time as his, but that was much different construction. I think from what he told me, it was just more premium because he knew the builder.
8,413.
okay.
And it didn't sell. I mean, it doesn't matter how big it is. It'd be 1 million square feet. It didn't sell. So whatever the town's value,
Well,
when I put on it, it's not market value.
that's right.
I don't think this man is being unreasonable. Maybe his method was a little backwards, spending more time on the square footage. But in reality, when the dust settles, there's the comp that shows that he should be right in line with that one. And as I said, less, but in the interest of everybody feels a little pain, like Harold says, then let's go with her number if nobody will go to his.
This is Harold. What was the number that you were considering or wish us to consider?
It's slightly higher than his. He wanted 4.5 million. I'm trying to pull it off my iPad again now.
Yeah, let me.
4,650. Was that the number?
Yeah, hers is 4,650, I think.
So Mr. Scalera won 4.5 million. He wants to come down from 5.1. Again, I think that's pretty reasonable with the evidence that he's put forth. Honestly,
I would have to say, as people
Someone
say,
making a motion to grant
I've made a motion to go down to 4.5. If you want to put forth another motion, go for it, but I'm sticking to the 4.5.
No, I was asking if somebody else was, because I think we probably are ready to move towards a vote in some way, so.
Well,
Why can't we go to
Only because
4.5?
I want you guys to finish. I want Peter to get some more in, and we've spent, we spent 20 minutes or so more on this, maybe a half hour on this one.
there's been some
I'm
discussion.
ready to vote. Let's vote. I'm ready to vote.
Okay,
We want to do this at the 4,650. So, would you, if here, can we just do this? I mean, Alexis, tell me if I'm speaking out of turn. If the board is not, and stop me, Alexis, it's okay. But if the board is not of the mind of the 4.5, and would be more amenable to the 4,650, which is the comp that he supplied, which is actually better than his house. I really believe.
I'd be amenable to that. I would be amenable to that. So someone could put forth a motion. I will
Okay.
probably vote for it.
Go ahead, go for it.
Or Judy or Kathleen, go for it.
I'll make a friendly amendment to adjust the price, the fair market value to 4,650,000.
It's a grant in part, proof for the.
Okay, all right. One of these days.
The grant in part window, it's okay.
Grant in part. I don't like the grant. parts.
650,
4 million.
all right.
this is Harold. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Paulette has second. All those in favor of granting this appeal in part to $4,650,000, please raise your hand. I have 3 in favor. Opposed? Abstentions? I have 1 abstention. The motion does not carry. The vote is 3 in favor. That's Alexis, Paulette, and Judy. Opposed, Harold, Peter, and Kathleen, and 1 abstention. That is John.
This is Paulette.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Everybody has a right to their opinion. But could somebody explain why this does not make sense to people? We showed you a comp that's better than his, and you still think his house should be worth $5 million. This is wrong. There's something seriously wrong with this. I just don't understand.
Well, I understand your comment. Yes, Alexis.
Yeah, I've been frustrated with this board. Peter Rupert made accusations a few weeks ago that some of us were conflict of interest, and I've been frustrated by, bitten my tongue for the betterment of our community. I'm frustrated. This man has given us sufficient evidence to bring down the value of his home. And I'm just not understanding the mindset of this board.
Maybe
I'm
somebody could,
very frustrated. I'm really frustrated. I don't know.
There
maybe
was a
somebody,
comp that's better than his house, which much better than his house. It is built better. It has more marketability, and that quotes at 4,650 within the time frame. I'm not quite sure why we weren't even willing, or why the majority of the board was not even willing to go to that number. Really,
and
right there, it's a fucking way.
I don't see
What
the
other-
point of me, going forth with my, our appeals if they're just gonna be voted down. They're not even being considered by people.
what, and
It's
what,
really
what,
an affront to our community. I'm
more
really upset here.
Does
What more-
anyone,
you?
does
What more-
anyone in the majority wish to bring this appeal back to the table?
Who's the majority since it's
The
split
majority
3-3?
voted, it was split.
Yeah,
Well, the majority is the winning vote,
It
and
was split.
since
the motion
Split.
failed, right? The amendment failed.
It was a tie.
Yeah, so
No.
the amendment failed. So we're
failed,
back to the original motion on the table at the 4-5.
Before we do that, I have a question. But maybe we can avoid this again. What else could we have given you to show you that it's worth that? Is there something you needed to see that we didn't give you? Because then that would help everybody understand why people are voting to deny something like this.
this is Harold, I think it was pointed out that the comp was not in the same coding.
Isn't the- That
No,
isn't
it
the
was. This is Kathleen. I don't want to continue this conversation much longer. I can give my 3 reasons. 1, because the comp was built in 1983 and this was built 2 years ago. 2, the comp is not FEMA compliant, which is a huge issue in the beach area. And 3, the subject property has very nice land next to it. So
We
it
don't
might not
live on
be.
that land.
Excuse
Oh
me.
my God, I'm gonna not judge it based on the property next door. Are you people out of your minds? You're being
You asked
ridiculous.
me my
The real
opinion.
reason
I
is you
gave
just
you
don't
my,
want
I
to give
gave
the
you
money
my
back.
3
That's what it is.
reasons. And it's
Ridiculous.
bigger.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Thank you.
Everything that's a new reason. It's a new thing that pops into somebody's head. We gave you what you needed. Let's have an example. So what? It looks like
Okay. I think it's
Point
time
of
to.
order,
Ridiculous.
Chair. I think we should take I don't know, what do we call this? A break, something, because obviously tensions are running high here. So if that's what we need to do here to cool things down, that's what I'm suggesting.
I think most of us are cool, Peter. I think we were raising our opinions. Night after night, we have been seated here and everybody's been denying our appeals. Okay.
got denied last night. Now we're starting it again tonight. There's only so much you can take without reason, without good reason. Let me put it that way. Now we picked on the property next door. We never did that before. He's got nice property next door. How nice for him. Should pay taxes because somebody's property is nice next door. Let's go on. It's no reason of aggravating myself. It's not even worth the aggravation. You're not even worth the time it takes. Just go on.
Peter, I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge your point of order. I think that things are calming down somewhat, but I would suggest that maybe you continue with some of your appeals.
Carol,
we need to
do we need to
close out
vote?
this one?
We need to vote. There's a motion on the table.
Oh, the motion on the table was to bring this appeal back to the table. And since
Harold, I don't think it was taken off the table, was it? I don't think it was
No.
not with, no, it's on the table. The amendment failed. So the original motion is still on the table at the 4.5 amount. So we need to vote on that one before Peter can present, I think.
I thought there was a friendly amendment.
Well, it was granted.
Granted
part.
in part.
Granted.
Someone who
part.
knows Robert's rules maybe can fill us in on what we have to do.
The
Yeah, I
amendment
believe it was a
didn't
granted
carry.
part.
what is the consensus opinion? I'm not sure if we just bring it back for another vote? Is that what
Well,
you're suggesting?
we need to vote on the original amendment or on the original motion that Alexis presented for 4.5 unless somebody else wants to make another amendment to this to grant in part at a different number.
Well, I thought that that's what Judy had done with
She
the.
did, but if they want to, if anybody wants to try again with a different number, that may, you know, they can go ahead and do that, or else we can just vote on the original original motion.
I see. Okay. Does anyone want to come up with a different number?
I don't see how it would help. I think mines are made up. I don't know.
We put forth two good numbers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, this isn't, let's make a deal. I'm not gonna keep bargaining up for this poor guy. I guess he'll just have to go to court, and I sure hope he does. I don't know what else to say. I mean, this of the ones we did, I thought some of them were bad. I have to say that this is like the worst miscarriage of justice I have seen from the board. The reasons do not make sense. They don't hold water, and everybody just goes along. This is sad. The whole point is you're all
Harold, can you
want
please,
money back.
could you
That's
call
what-
the vote so we can move on?
Yes. I'm going to call the vote on the motion to grant. Is this for the original
Yes.
motion? Okay. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the appellant's opinion of value, please raise your hand. All those in favor? I have 3 in favor. Opposed? Please raise your hand. I have 4 opposed. The motion does not carry. The vote is 3 in favor, 4 opposed. Opposed are Harold, John, and Catherine. And Peter, excuse me.
And Peter.
It must be easy to sit there and not grant appeals when you'd had no increase in your taxes, one of you, and the other one got a card correction down, bringing her land down to 0.85 when he's got a flat triangular lot that didn't deserve it. It must be really easy to not give other people what they do deserve when you're sitting in those seats, isn't it?
Point of order, that's out of line. Those
Too bad.
comments are out of line.
No, those comments are the truth. That makes them in line. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it.
All right. I'd like to see if we can get through this. Peter, if you could.
Wait, Alexis has something.
I just want to say, look, I know everybody volunteers their time, a lot of time for this board, but we do our research, we put forth appeals, and we listen to our deliberations, and I just don't feel like this board has their mind made up before we're even putting out information. So I don't even understand the point of going forth with the rest of my deliberations. I really don't. Like, this is a good case. I'm very frustrated here. And no, Peter, I'm not, biased or have, some other interest according to your email a few weeks ago. I don't, but I'm just so frustrated here. What's the point of being on this board then if we're just going to keep saying no? That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Just go ahead.
Peter, would you please continue with your appeals? We're still trying to get through this for the benefit of the town.
I'm out. I'm out. I was only going to stay for mine, and then I decided to do a few others. With what just happened, I'm just going to bow out tonight, and I'll see you. Kathleen, I'll email you and let you know when about the other appeals.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Good night, Judy.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. We'll continue now. We have 6 members present.
Okay, this is appeal number 208. Okay, the property is 1671 Fairfield Beach Road. The owner is RAD Fairfield LLC. The appellant was attorney Phil Pierce. Okay. There is going to be another appeal after this on the Creekside property, but this is the beachside property here. This home was sold. Okay, so actually, sorry, the current value by the
Make a
town is
motion.
$1,000,004. I'm sorry.
Do we have a second? Maybe I missed it.
No,
Not yet.
I
he's there.
didn't.
Okay,
State the
sorry.
property.
The current value is $1,437,500. The appellant requested a value of $1,270,000. They came in with an appraisal and stated that the value was $1,270,000. I make a motion to grant the appellant's value to $1,270,000. Do I have a second?
This is John. I'll
Okay,
second
Kathleen,
it.
thank you.
Oh, okay.
All right, so this is a, as I was saying, it's a beachside property. It's on 0.26 acres. It's 1,700 square feet. And there was the sale of this property in, the homeowner purchased this property for $1,830,000 back in August of 2017. They provided an appraisal that came in at $1,270,000. They wanted to use the comps, 1690 and 1700. Those are two lots together, the same owner. And those are creekside properties. Both of those, they're back, next door to each other. And that was sold. Here's, I guess maybe because it's the two lots, it was for $1,050,000. They provided another comp, which was 1091 Fairfield Beach Road. In the appraisal, it had a 9/17/19 sale, but there was a more current sale in July of 20 for $2,889,000. So they didn't have that in the appraisal. This was a 10-1 appraisal, as far as I can remember. All right, and then 939 Fairfield Beach Road, okay, which is another FB8 property, and that was a February 19 sale for $1,300,000. All right. I'm not inclined to approve the requested value.
Okay, this is Harold. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, this is John. I'm looking through the appraisal, and I think only at least one house was in the, everything else was like 2016, it looks like, except for Peter, you said
Yeah, well,
that
there was
one that
sorry,
was
John,
under
there was
contract.
Yeah. Did you look at the most recent, because there was a 2017 appraisal put in the file at first, and then at the hearing they brought in a 10-1.
Oh, okay. Maybe I haven't gotten to the 10-1. I
appraisal.
thought that
Yeah.
there was just the one that was
Yeah.
10-1. So there's two appraisals in here.
Right. Correct.
Okay. Then I must be looking at the first one and not the second one that was brought in. Let me just see here. Okay.
This is Kathleen. Peter, does that say that the sale price probably includes the Creekside lot? Is that accurate for the $1,000,008?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yes, that's correct.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting to the right appraisal, the newer appraisal. Sorry.
Ross, could you please bring up the property? I'd like to see the location of the property and the beach side. Thank you.
It does look fairly dated inside.
Yeah, it's got about 63, or I'm sorry, 37% depreciation on it.
This is Harold. The appellant is seeking $1.4 million in total for
No, what?
1.4 for the entire, for the beach side and including the creek side. Is that how they stated? They didn't break it apart?
No,
Right, they're requesting the 1,270,000
Oh,
For just the beach side, correct?
mhm. Yeah, so this is Kathleen, so if you add them together, right, they paid 1 million, was it 830 for both? And now they're at 2,135,20 for both. And it's, 3 years later. I don't know what work they've done. Doesn't look like are they FEMA compliant? No. Built in 1920. I mean, on the house, most of their values in the land, right? Their land is at 1,286,000. So the house is at 150. So if we brought them down to their ask price on the beach, they're going to be lower than their land value.
I think I'm trying to bring up the card on the property.
Peter, this is Kathleen. What was the comp that sold recently? The one that sold for more, 2.8 million?
Yeah, there was that was 1091 Fairfield Beach Road.
And is that got a two-sided parcel to it too? No. Oh, so, okay.
Wait, but he has the sales. Oh, that's what you were saying. I'm sorry. So there was the 19 sale, but then there was the 2020 on that one.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
This is Harold. It does look dated inside. It has a condition code of 6, which is above average.
Mhm.
I think that maybe the house is overvalued. Although it's assessed or appraised at only $150,000. I don't
That,
know that.
because Kathleen,
Yeah.
that's the problem, right? That the value's in the land.
Yeah,
They've got a decent sized lot. They've got, you know, if you look at it, they've got good beachfront. They have a nice yard in the back. I don't know how many square feet is that. whole
it's
thing.
11,280 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so by itself, it's a conforming lot, never mind, you know, and if you add the creek property to that, it's even more so, so. Has a lot of, that land has a lot of values. It's not a small lot.
The land assessment went up $63,000 in total,
Mm,
63.5.
Yeah,
All right, we ready to vote on this one? Does anyone need more time? All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 opposed. Abstentions? 2 abstentions. Paulette and Alexis abstaining. Motion is not granted. Appeal is not granted. The motion is not carried. The vote is 0-4-2. Alexis and Paulette abstaining. Thank you. Peter?
Okay, my next appeal is
Excuse
Appeal
me, Harold?
209.
Yes, who's speaking?
It's Paulette. Excuse me, I must interrupt. I'm sorry.
Yes.
At this time, I feel that I must leave the meeting. I can't tolerate much more of this tonight. And so I'm going to be leaving. That should make you all very happy. So go on and do whatever you want to do. I'm done. I'll be back when you people get reasonable. So let me know when that happens. Thank you.
I'm going to have to sign off as well for the evening. Thank you.
okay, so we don't have a quorum now.
You did it to yourselves. Good night.
All right. The time
Okay,
is.
you could try to get Ronique if you wanted to see if Ronique would jump on for an hour so Peter can finish his. I can try to text him and see if you want to take a minute, or I could try Catherine, or we could just call it a night, whatever you want to do.
No, I don't want to lose the hour because there's a lot of appeals still to do.
All right, do you want me to text him?
So I'm going to reach out to Ronique. I'm going to mute. And if you want to try to reach Catherine, which would be fair thing to do, I'll ask you to reach out. I'm going to mute. This is Harold. Ronique is going to join us momentarily. It's going to take him a few minutes to log on. Ronique is going to join us, Kathleen, if you haven't heard.
Yeah, I did. She said she could as well, but I told her Ronique was going to, so she got back to me after I heard you say that. So she said,
Okay.
give me a minute as well. So whether we'll end up with 2 or 1.
And board members, I just want to say, please don't take those comments that we heard earlier personally in any way. And I think that we can proceed the way we have been doing and use the information that we have available to us to make our best possible decisions. And let's not give up.
We're so close to being done. I know. And she said she could hop on if we needed her to at some point. So Peter, you have 6 left, right? Oh, he's on mute.
I now have 5 left, I believe.
Oh, 5. So can you do 5 in an hour? And
Well, I think what I would like to suggest is, I'm sure Peter would like to finish with all of his tonight, and then we can focus on what Alexis has left. So even if we have to run a little bit over, if that's okay with the folks, I'd like to see if we can get those 5 done. That would be my suggestion.
yeah, I have some commercials here I can throw in at any point too if Peter gets tired and I'm sure Catherine would jump on to do 1 or 2 of hers as well. So
This is Ross. Peter, could you just rattle off the open numbers? I'm showing 6.
Well, I have 209, Appeal 209.
Yep.
Appeal 71. Appeal 72. 624. And 623.
Okay. Kathleen, do you know what about 509?
this is Kathleen. I'm going to look it up now.
Thank you.
This is Harold. Ronique Patel has joined our quorum. It is 8:04 p.m.
Ross, I have that one assigned to Alexis on March 2nd in hearing room 4.
Okay.
Unless it was rescheduled to somebody else and I didn't catch it.
Ronique is with us.
Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
Hi, thank you for joining. We
Hi,
didn't
Ronique.
want to lose this hour. Some of the other board members chose to leave our meeting, but Peter is doing appeals, so we will let him continue.
Sounds good. Sorry
Okay,
to
so-
hear and glad to help out.
Thank you.
That's right. So this is Appeal 209. It's 1668 Fairfield Beach Road. The owner is RAD Fairfield LLC, and the appellant was Attorney Phil Pyers. And so this is a 1668 is a 1,100 square foot piece of land. That's about 0.07 acres. It has a building on it, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. I'm sorry, actually, I gotta make the motion, sorry, here. All right, the current value, the town is currently valued at $697,700, and the appellants are requesting the value to $580,000. I make a motion to grant the appellant's requested value to $580,000. Do I have a second?
This is
All right,
Harold,
Roni.
second.
Okay, all right, thank you. So the argument was that this is not a buildable lot if the thing is damaged or destroyed, although, I don't know, I don't recall that being the actual conversation we had the other night, right? Just as long as it's in the footprint, right? So,
Grandfathered,
Anyway, so they-
Kathleen, yeah, grandfathered, I think.
So Attorney Pierce said that it's at about 65 feet plus of frontage on the creek. It's got a, does say it needs bulkhead repairs and wood deck repairs. There was, again, an old 2017 appraisal. Actually, no, that was the one that was in the previous file covered this property as well, but then there was a new appraisal presented. All right, so I'll give you the comps for the new appraisal. All right, the first comp was 1094 Fairfield Beach Road, and that had significant adjustments made on it. That sale price in June of 2019 was $875, and it went to with the adjustment down to $716.5. This is also a WP4 location. All right. Then there was 1206 Fairfield Beach Road, and that had a sale of $580,000. I don't know if it says unqualified. That was in August of 19, but I don't know. If that was because it was a double lot purchase. Adjusted down to $575. Also a WP4 lot, and then 1492 Fairfield Beach Road, and again, some big adjustments on all of these. That was sold in November of 20 for $800,000, and that was a PC4 sale.
Ross, could you please
So-
bring this up on the map?
Should be up there, Harold.
Oh, thank you, sorry.
No problem.
So this is Kathleen, it's the one with the red dot in the middle of it?
Yes.
Okay, I can't quite see the
Got
number.
a shed, the shed there.
Yeah, so it's
And a full deck across the back of the house.
yeah.
Okay,
And the
I don't
and the
believe that's
appraisal, just to confirm, the appraisal did not have any time adjustments in it. It just had adjustments on the house, on the old, and they were all older sales, right? All 2019.
Let me just double.
Well, so there's two appraisals.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
one for
recall seeing any.
April. Yeah, this is Veronique. There's two appraisals, one for April and one for October 1, right?
Right, but the
so-
comps in the October 1 one are still 2019 sales, even though it's the newer appraisal. He still used older sales.
Oh,
The one appraisal was from 2017. Just, I don't know if you.
oh, 2017.
Saw that.
Okay.
That was for
Yeah.
both properties, right? The first appraisal, or no, maybe not.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
okay.
It's a beautiful cottage.
Well, this is a house that's on the deep water side of the creek. So it does have that advantage, and it is across the street from the owner's home. This is currently being used as a rental property, or is it not? Anyone knows?
I don't. They didn't mention that.
Okay. And there's nothing in the documentation to indicate that.
No.
Okay. It's conventional residential. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. All right, we need any more information or more time? Not, I'll call a vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. The appeal is not granted. The vote is 0-5-0. It's unanimous. Thank you.
All right, so the next appeal is Appeal 70. I'm going to start with 72 here. All right, 72. 72 and 71 go together, but let me get 72 up here.
So this is Kathleen. Peter, if you want to make a motion to discuss them together, that's fine. And then, you know, we can talk, because if you want to talk about them, you know, sometimes it's appropriate to, sometimes it's not, but.
Okay, sure. Yeah, actually, I mean, that, all right. So I make a motion that we discuss appeals 71 and 72 together. Do I have a second?
This is Harold. I'll second.
Okay. Okay. So all those in favor?
I
Aye.
don't think you need to vote on that. Oh, do you? Okay.
Sure.
All right.
It's unanimous. If we have to vote, it was motioned by me. Peter made the motion, and it's unanimous 5-0-0 to combine the discussion on both properties.
All right. So these are two parcels of land. All right. This is the owner of the property address is on 72 is 1702 Fairfield Beach Road, and the owner of that property is Charlton Weston. He's a trustee for the this belongs to the Old Dam Road Association. And then for 71, the property address is 1701 Fairfield Beach Road. And again, the owner was Charlton Weston, trustee, and he was the appellant. So I don't know, how do I do the motion for the values?
You can, this is Kathleen, you can just read them both into the record. I think that's fine if you want, I mean, or you can, I don't know.
Right. Okay, so for
Yeah.
70, for Appeal 72, the town has valued the property at $30,700. The requested value by the appellant is $5,000. For the Appeal 71 property, the current value is $42,000 by the town, and the requested value is $10,000 by the appellant. I make a motion to grant the appellant's value to for Appeal 72 to $5,000 and for Appeal 71 to $10,000. Do I have a second?
This is Harold. I'll second.
All right, thanks. All right, so starting with 72. So as I said, this is a owned by the Old Dam Road Association. Some land, I guess, that was donated many years ago, and basically it's a 4 foot wide strip of land. This one, I believe he said, is 17 is 60 feet. Maybe that's might be the other one. Yeah, there are two different parcels of land, right? All right. So one goes from the creek. One goes from the creek to Fairfield Beach Road. The other parcel goes from Fairfield Beach Road to the beach. All right, so there's two properties or two pieces of land there.
Peter,
right.
Ross has it up on the screen just to let you know.
Okay.
So-
I don't see the that looks like the 1701.
Correct. Yeah.
Am I,
And
right.
across the street is the 1702.
and then across the street, directly across the street, yeah. So, you know, he didn't have any comps, you know, to go along with this. I mean, we did have one property that, you know, we did deliberate on recently. It might have been my property now, but I'm totally forgetting the address. You know, I just think that this does have value. And one of the things why I believe that this has value is, first of all, you know, there aren't access points to the beach to the public, right? So, I mean, they do have to go over, they do have to cross over to the, you know, from Old Dam to the dock. There is a dock on the Creekside property. So they do have to cross over to that, you know, and then get to Fairfield Beach Road and you know, make their way to the beach. I think that's, you know, that does add value. And actually, you know, I just looked up, you know, sales online, and I found, you know, old listings for 73 Old Dam Road and 263 Old Dam Road, and they both, in their, you know, advertising for the properties, had this, you know, this particular feature as, you know, access to the beach. So I think it, you know, is considered valuable to the homeowners over there.
But when you say access to the beach, I mean, do they only have the 4 feet of beach access that they can be on?
Right. That's correct. I mean,
Okay.
Right. They don't have the access to the beach. Yeah. And I will say too that the beachside strip does have a locked fence. You know, from you know, on Fairfield Beach Road, there is a locked fence there.
Ronnie has his hand up.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the field cards, right? So one of them, so for appeal number 71, it more than doubled from last assessed value. And even appeal 72, it almost tripled. Like Ross, can you shed some light on why it went up so much for both of these properties?
This is Ross. I don't know for sure. I'd have to do a little digging. I mean, I don't know if I want to speculate, but it could be that the coding was made more consistent.
This is Harold. It appears to me that the owner of this path, or these paths, there's 2 of them, does not have, unless he's living on the path, does not have advantage of these paths. The real, is there, if there is advantage to these paths to the owner, I'm not sure what it is. If somebody knows, please chime in. But the real value exists for the people on the Ash Creek roadside, because that gives them the ability to take a boat across, dock it, go across the road, and go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what's going on.
He lives
here.
over in that Old Dam neighborhood.
The Old Dam neighborhood, yes. Old Dam Road, because at this end, it's Old Dam Road. You're right, and not Ash Creek Road.
Mm-hmm. So this is
Kathleen?
Kathleen. So this is how I look at it. I don't know how many members there are in that association, but if you add, you know, looking for, you know, value on it, if you say, is it worth $72,000 to that homeowners association to have that feature divided by all the homeowners? In other words, is it, you know, is that, because it's difficult to say, it doesn't have value for a lot of other people because, you know, they probably can't sell it. You know, who's it going to be most valuable to? But to them, is that, you know, is it valuable to have that access as, you know, to have the dock there and to be able to use the beach? So
Is there a way to find out if the Old Dam Association is charging a fee, or what would be the right term?
Probably in their homeowners dues or whatever they have for an
yes,
association over there.
apportioning their
That's what I get.
homeowners dues, yes, apportioning their homeowners dues to include this access.
Right, as opposed to $15,000, which is what they're asking for it to be. So,
So,
I guess, Ross, did you calculate it? This one, some of the beach access we haven't done square footage on. These ones you did square footage of the pathways. That's how the value was determined. PC4 and then FB8.
well,
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if anything had changed. On the beach side, it looks like the coding has not changed. Let me hold on one sec. Let me just.
This is John. I just want to, I do note on the field card as well that the Creekside, I think, has a 0.10 value on the land, and the Fairfield Beach, on the Long Island side, it has a 0.5, I think, or is it vice versa? But they,
0.05.
Yeah, one has a.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
0.05
the other thing this is Ross. The other thing I'm noticing is that the beach side in the past, and I'm going to get the proper code, was not coded FB8. It was coded, and just bear with me, it was coded PC4. So that would explain why that piece went up. It's coded as a beachside parcel instead of a creekside.
well, this is Harold. Since it's not buildable in any way, if we change that to a PC4, how would that affect the value?
It would drop it, Harold, which is fine, but I'll probably leave that coded as beachfront or beachside.
This is Kathy.
Okay,
What
but
did
if you-
BC mean? I'm sorry. You said it's FB8
sorry?
now, right?
Appeal,
PC
Say that again, Kathleen?
I'm sorry, it's FB8 now. We're talking about the beach strip, right?
Yes.
And what was it before? PC4?
Yes.
I see. I thought you said BC. I didn't know. So it was coded as a Pine Creek parcel, not a beach parcel.
Right.
Okay.
So Harold, would you like me to calc that as a Pine Creek side?
Well, the condition is 0.5, whereas the other is a 0.1. This is a lower condition than the other property, right? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
The other one was a 0.1. Yeah.
And this is 0.05. So, I mean, we do have, some properties right on the creek side that have, these strips. And does it only add the value of the physical piece of land, or it adds more value because they can now get to the beach from their home on the creek side? So, there's that whole dilemma there. But I guess, so for these guys, I would just look like, what is the benefit of the two strips together? Because really one without the other, I mean, so maybe somebody on the beach would buy that, on the creek side would buy one half of it if they could even separate it. I don't know if they're two, I guess they're two separate parcels on two deeds. So if it could sell by itself, that strip on the beach, I would not lower it from the 42. That's my opinion. If they're deeded together and they have to go together, then I guess we look at the whole value of the whole.
Yeah, I don't think there's individual value.
You mean one deed or two deeds? You don't know.
Yeah, it has to be two. It really has value for two pieces together, unless somebody just wants to purchase it to widen their lot.
This is Kathleen. No, I would.
Well, listen,
This is Ross.
Sorry, this is Peter.
For the transfer in 14, it was done on one deed. I could pull it up if you like.
No, that's it. So they sold together, or however it was transferred. It was one time. I don't know.
I mean, I just will say that, again, that there's no public access points from that point all the way down to Penfield, I believe, right? You know, right before Penfield.
This land
So,
was.
I mean, it does.
Yeah, this strip was conditioned, was retained, let me put it that way, it was retained because it gave access to the Old Dam Association to get to the beach without having to drive all the way around and worry about where to park.
Mhm.
You have a rowboat, you can be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and this is Kathleen, and I guess they could sell the whole thing if they wanted to, and would one of the neighbors pay 72,000 for those 2 strips? And then let your neighbor use the creek side for their dock and you use the ocean side, you know, I don't know. So I think I do think it has value,
Yeah, but
because it
maybe
goes
not,
front to back.
not that much. So what, this is how, what would it be if you made the beach side a creek side coating, make it the PC4? What would that do to the 42,100 value?
Let me just plug that in for you, Harold. This is Ross.
Yes, please, just to see. Yeah.
It reduces it to 31,200.
So this is I just doing some calculations. I looked at last year's assessment and divided by 7. So like last year, I mean, one of them was 10,700, 19,500, totaling $30,200. This assessment together, they're at 72,800. I mean, that's more than double, from 30,000 to 70, almost 73,000. I don't see it being any more than 50. They can't build on it. You can't even, I don't even think you can build a driveway there, and I don't even know if they have parking.
Yeah,
No, there's no parking. It's just 2 strips of land. That's it.
Well, I mean, we can look at it that way. We don't necessarily have to take the appellant's market value, which is his opinion of what the value is, without any comps or any other approach to the value. So
This is Kathleen. I don't know even if I owned a house on the creek, I may pay 72 just to have the beach access, and I got an extra creek, you know, line too. If I was one of the neighbors there, would I want that? If I lived on the creek and I had no beach access, would I pay $72,000 to be able to have beach access? I probably would.
we don't know. We don't
No,
know.
but I'm saying I probably would. That would be if I paid 2.1 million for a house on the creek. You know, some of those creekside houses are really big.
Yes.
You know, it might be worth my while to be able to get to the beach and not have to, you know, go through my neighbor, whatever, if I wanted to buy it myself. So.
And quite honestly, Kathleen, they might even pay more if it's an individual, in spite of the fact that they would then, assuming that they can buy it from the association, right? But the association is made up of many people.
Yeah, they would have to be willing
And
to sell it.
who's to say that they all would be willing to sell it to one person and not be able to take advantage themselves? So maybe it would be a bidding war that would drive the price up significantly more.
That's what I'm saying. It has value, you know, to them. It also has value to other people in the area. So I just,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
we don't
you
know.
can't buy that anymore. You can't get that beach access.
We don't know. We don't know if they can purchase it. An individual would be able to purchase it from the Old Dam Association. I like Ronnie's approach, since they haven't given us any comp or any reason to consider the lower value, to go back to what the value was before on in this particular situation, because it is so unique, and we don't have really good arguments as to why it should be this much higher, because there are no comps, and we don't understand how the path is owned by the Old Dam Association, and whether it is saleable or not. So I would make a motion to grant in part to the previous on, let's see, on appeal number 71. And I'm going to talk assessed value,
19,500.
$13,650.
Oh, I
Assessed
did
value,
that wrong. Oh, yeah, then assessed ends up being 19,500.
okay, thank you. That would be 19,500, is that the correct math? Then I would.
Double check.
I would make a motion to grant in part to I would make a motion to make an amendment to change the value to 19,000. What was the number, Ronique?
19,500.
19,500. All those in favor?
Do you have a second?
Oh,
Second, Ronique, second.
Okay. And
Remy.
by the way, Catherine joined the meeting. I see her up there at around 8:15. I know she didn't announce herself, but she did come in at 8. I can see her square. I don't know if she's speaking and participating. Catherine, are you voting? She's just listening.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she's muted right now.
Yeah.
So on my motion to the amendment to reduce the value to 19,500, all those in favor, raise your hand.
Ross, you may need to stop sharing so we can see all the votes.
Yeah, because I can't see.
All those in favor, raise your hand. I have 2 in favor. Kathleen, I don't know if you heard the whole discussion.
I did not, so I'm just not
Okay.
gonna, I'm sorry, can't
Okay.
participate. It was too late when I got here.
And all those opposed, please raise your hand. I have 3 opposed. The motion to, the amendment to reduce the value to 19,500 fails. The vote is 2 in favor, 3 opposed. Kathleen, do you wish to abstain or not vote?
It's not vote. I came in too late.
You
It was
came in late.
My
Okay.
apologies.
Harold and Ronique in favor. Now on the original motion to grant this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The motion is not carried. The appeal is denied. The vote is 0-5-0. Now, Peter, if I may, going to the next one, which is appeal number 72.
Yeah.
If we were to consider the prior,
I can do this one, Harold.
I'm sorry?
I have the math. I can do the motion.
Yes,
The adjusted
please.
value for the so I would like to motion for an amended amount for a reduced to grant in part for appeal number 72 to amount of $30,200, which will be what it was appraised for at last term. And do I have a second?
Well, this is Kathleen. Isn't it at 30,700 right now?
Hold on.
Talking about the Creekside
Did I
portion,
do that?
right?
Oh, I did
What's
that
it-
wrong.
Yes,
I was just
I
gonna
did the math
say,
on that
that's
one.
probably not worth, for $500, but
you need to, the assessed value is
10,000.
7,490.
10,700. I looked at the total amount for both of them, not the one I calculated. So, amending appeal number 72 to a grant in part of $10,700.
This is Harold. I'll second it.
Then 17,
What was that?
I'm sorry, can you give me that number again, please?
Now,
No worries, 10,700.
Thank you.
all those in favor of granting the amended value of 10,700, please raise your hand. 2 in favor, opposed. 1, 2, 3 opposed. The motion fails. The appeal is not granted. The vote is 2 in favor, 3 opposed. Harold and Ronique in favor. Thank you.
That was the amendment, right?
Correct.
That was the
All right.
amendment.
That was the amendment.
Okay, now to vote on the original original appeal. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. I have 5 opposed. It's unanimous, 0, 5, 0. Thank you.
This is Ronique. I mean, Catherine, I'm here until 9 now because I'm just filling in as well. I mean, I don't know if we need, so I don't know if you need to, if you had other plans, I can stay until 9.
I was only prepping for tomorrow night, so no, I'll
Well,
stick it.
I think Peter has just 3 left. Let's see if we can wrap them up.
Yeah, Peter can do 2, Catherine. You can fit one in if you just prep something, so you may get a bonus.
No, I'm definitely.
Peter may have some quick ones. We'll see.
Go for it.
Take a couple of big sidewalks.
Okay. This is, right. This is appeal number 624. 624. And the property is 1360 Fairfield Beach Road. The owner is Gloria Redlener, and she was the appellant. And she, let's see here. The town's valued her property at $47,900, and she's asking for a reduction to $19,100. 200. Actually, no, I'm going to, in her favor, 1,000. Sorry, Prue. $19,100. $19,100.
This
You
is
make a
John.
motion?
Okay, I make a motion to grant that requested value. Do I have a
This is
second?
John. I'll second.
All right, thanks, John. All right, so she came up with that total, saying that that's 10% above the 2015 valuation. This was sold in, let's see here. Why do I have 8720? Am I seeing that? I think 8720, but I guess there was a sale back in 1991. Her sale that was for $52,800 on this land. I have to go back and check that quickly. But
Oh, that's
you know,
correct.
she says
I'm
she's
looking
made no
at the card.
improvements. She says she's made no improvements since 2015. It can't be developed or sold separately. You know, she says the access to the creek is only 90 minutes either side of high tide. It is a WP4 property with that condition on it, a 0.1 condition on it. There is a dock that was put on there in 1999, it looks like. So it's got about $5,700 on there. She brought up the 216 Riverside Drive property, and just was wondering. So I just looked at different comps. 1359 Fairfield Beach Road. Actually, wait.
That's hers,
that's right.
right?
That's hers. Sorry. So yeah, her sale then. So I'm assuming it was all together was in 20 was $1,355,000. So 1522 Fairfield Beach Road, but this is a PC4. That was February 21 for $2.1 million. 1492 Fairfield Beach Road was sold in 11.9. Again, these are bigger pieces of property, right? This is just in undeveloped property here. So, and then the W2, WP4, her two neighbors, you know, her property is, you know, her two neighbors have, you know, similar valuations on them.
This is Harold. Ross, I see the dock associated with this property, and it looks like there's a boat on a lift. Is that something you could zoom in on?
Yeah.
Is there a boat lift
Yeah.
there?
Probably.
I
She
think
said
there
that
it's perhaps
you know,
damaged.
there's creek access only, like, you know, for very short periods of time,
Right.
either side of high tide.
And there is a boat lift.
Yeah.
Does the town value a boat lift separately from docks?
Yeah, we picked it up as a dock, same as a dock.
In the dock, okay.
All right.
So
So
As
this,
th-
oh, sorry.
this is
No, we
John.
didn't pick up the damage, just the dock.
This is John. I do see some value here because I'm assuming that they use the parking area as part of the other property they own across the street here with it. And it does look like there's, like, it's been a little bit, I mean, while it's gravel and stuff, the one picture looks in the thing looks like, or in the field card, looks to me like there's some kind of like little picnic area or something, or I can't quite make it out myself, but I mean, it's landscaped fairly nicely. I will say that.
Yeah.
With it.
Yeah.
So this is Ronique. So I just did the calculation of her purchase price. I combined the two properties, and she's still, the appraised value is still under her purchase price by $215,000, $215,100. So I kind of can see why she would contest the $47,000, but if you're looking at them as a whole, I'm comfortable with her being at those dollar amounts, considering how the purchase price is over $200,000 higher for both the properties.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. The town has her at what, $1.2 million for both, and she paid $1,355,000, $1,355,000 for both. So I think she's,
Right.
in August of 2020. So, we know you can't sell these separately. They add value to the property. So, and I don't, the last few votes anyway, we haven't been, altering Creekside lots a lot unless there's something very specifically wrong with it. But this is a typical PC4 at 0.1 with the dock. And, that's the best, I think, so I don't see she's aggrieved in any other way to be brought lower than, anybody else with a similar situation.
Does anyone need more time? Any further comment or discussion? I'll call a vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's unanimous. The motion does not pass. The appeal is not granted. The vote is 0-6-0. Thank you.
Peter, you're going to finish unless you pass out or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'm
Forget.
chilling there. Nicely done. John, you're done, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
I
am.
thought Harold was going to beat Peter, but I guess not. Although he's the chair, he could always take the floor.
Well, I got excited when I heard about that property that had the Seagrape liquor store and a deli. I was, just getting motivated somehow,
Is that a house on
get down
College
there.
Place?
Anyway,
Is that a house on College Place? That's why I wasn't.
yeah, no, right across the street from there. I don't know what's that.
My husband
Lantern
lives in
Point,
or something,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Seagrape
Yeah.
College.
Right now, I'd like to be either place.
Not
So,
here?
All right,
Come on.
this is appeal number 623. It's 1614 Fairfield Beach Road. I can't recall if we actually had this, we discussed this earlier, like on our first night, first or second night, but I guess I'm just going to make the motion. This is 1614 Fairfield Beach Road. The owner's Gregory Sargent. He was the appellant, and the current value of the property, is $72,800. He says he's requesting, he's not disputing the dock that is included in that $72,800. And he's requesting a value of $44,926. So I make a motion to grant the requested value to $44,900. And do I have a second? All right, Ronan, thank you. All right. So the value he's saying, the town's value, or actually his value would be, he's not disputing the dock. That's what he says. So, right, which is 67, which would bring it down the value, the current value to 67,100. All right. So he provided a picture. It's an unimproved property. He says that there's first of all, it's a PC4 property. Has a dock on it, $5,700. It he says there's a town pump house to the east, and then on the other side to the west, there's a creek side with a habitable structure. He says it's 22 feet wide, 0.03 acres, and then he did some calculations about square footage, and he gave different comps for that. And he has a chart in his file.
Peter, this
Ross,
is
you
John.
brought up the,
Oh, go ahead, Harold.
okay, you brought it up. A lengthy dock. Is there another structure on that? Or is that just, it's paved area? Okay.
Yeah.
And a lengthy dock.
He does own a piece of land further up Fairfield Beach Road. That does not give him, I think it's a WP4 property, so it does not give him access to the creek at that. So, this obviously, provides access to the creek for him.
Okay.
Does he have another property associated with this one? Sale includes M234 lot 20, so it's deeded with another property, so it would be similar.
All right, so maybe I
Yeah.
didn't see that.
To all, it says, or at least on the field card, and the price is 0. So I think he has more. He appealed another house down there, another lot maybe on the creek side. I'm not exactly sure, but this is another one where it looks like it deeds with the house, like the one we just did. And I think his square footage calculations is probably right, that we know it lands on a curve, so that's why he's got the larger lots with lower price per square foot than his, because he's looking at the 2732 2100 square foot lots. If he'd looked at one of the 1,000 ones, the price they would have been in a higher price per square foot than him. So
Right. And this is Harold. He does have 1440 square feet. And his land value is 67,100, as Peter said previously. I can't tell if it's actually paved or if it's just gravel or what, but I don't know that would add that much value. But given the fact that it is larger than the 500 square foot property we just heard, I don't see that the town's value is inconsistent.
This is John. Peter, I'm looking at the file, and on page 2, that's the picture of the lot, right?
Well, he disputed that was the picture of the lot. That was the original, you know, we had put in a request to find out if that was actually the lot. And he was disputing that was the lot, you know, a picture of the lot.
So on page 2, that's not the lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know if we ever got an official answer if anyone went out there to look at it. I think we put in a request.
Because the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I do see that it does add value by being able to store boats outside versus,
Right.
you know, another.
Right.
So that's why I'm bringing that up as far as the
This
value.
is Harold. The GIS does show, the picture that Ross brought up does show that this is the lot. It does look like it has a cobblestone apron, and it is next to this tall brown building on, which is to the left of it.
Yeah, and the pump station to the right. Yep.
Yeah, right. So that is it.
Okay, and it is marked 1614, so I think that
Yeah.
is the correct address for this parcel of land.
I'm ready to vote. I don't know about anybody else, but
Okay, anybody need more time? No, then I will call a vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. The vote is 0-6-0. The appeal is not granted. It's unanimous, 0-6-0 is the vote. Thank you. Peter, can you dig up any others?
Or did you just
No,
cross
I'm
the
done.
finish line?
yeah. So
I
Catherine, I don't know if Catherine's digging any up. I can dig some up too.
Oh, is Peter
Catherine
not
is-
done? Peter, how many you got?
Oh, Catherine, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was prepping when I called, but it's, you sure? Number 447? I was not thinking I was gonna jump in front of anybody. Okay, 447, the appeal. It is for, just give me a minute to call it up here. 447 is 51 Mill Hill Lane. The owner is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm sorry, I should say Alexander Smith and Blythe Bracy. And the appellant was Chris Russo, who came in, and I'd like to make a motion to reduce the town's value of $1,390,200 to the appellant's fair market value of $1,100,000. Do I have a second? Thanks, Kathleen. So, so Mill Hill Lane is sort of this, and Harold, correct, you know, this is kind of, I think, in your neighborhood, maybe Rooney, it's, you know, a very, very rural looking lane, right? But when you come down the lane, it would end kind of like Mill Hill Terrace, and the school is right there. So it's right, very accessible to Mill Hill School. But, you know, once you enter the lane, you feel like it's much more secluded. It's,
Ross, could you bring up the map, please, Ross?
and so 51 Mill Hill Lane was, it's a 1926 Colonial that they purchased a couple of years ago. And they purchased it in 2018. And they do have a permit for over almost $250,000 worth of improvements. They put in a new kitchen, you know, all the new equipment, but they state that it's still a little functionally obsolete. It's on the card as 4,800 square feet, and that does include the attic, which is finished off. So there's 2 bedrooms up in the attic. So you can see where, yes, it might be, you know, functionally a little different, but it's a 1926 Colonial with a lot of charm, and definitely needed some decor improvements, which they've updated and made more modern. So their issues are that the renovation was completed just at like September of 2020. Again, they want to stress the functional obsolescence of it. They say that the lot slopes downhill in the back. I pulled up some pictures like this, and you can see, yes, it slopes down, but again, there's these very formal tiered gardens. It's almost, and I don't mean to be dramatic, but it reminded me of like the European, if you're going to take Versailles or so, because it's a very expansive backyard, and those gardens are extremely mature. You know, they're all specimens and different. There is no pool back there. And he says, you know, when you come out of the lane, you look at the school and you have some poor sight lines. So they do have 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 2 half baths, and as I said, 4,800 square feet. So the appraisal, they did have an appraisal, but it was a retroactive appraisal. It was dated, you know, February. It was done for the tax appeal. And the comps that they listed are certainly in the neighborhood, but they were all significantly smaller. And you can take a look through the, and there's really no pictures in the appraisal. So I just found that a little hard. And, you know, when you do this, the Google Maps and everything, it's kind of difficult to get a feel for the street because it's, you know, it's very treed, it's very matured, and it's very tight. Once you get in there, there's also some privacy fences and so forth. So there are 3 comps. They used 320 Warner Hill, which sold in July of 20 for $1,118,000, but that was 3,400 square feet. 345 Mill Hill Terrace sold in September of 20 for $1,200,000. That was 4,100 square feet, 5 bedroom, 4 baths. And 1566 Bronson, which is a little, well, and that's 4,200 square feet, and that sold for just under $1 million. But because the appraisal was done like in February, and I was trying to get a feel for, you know, Googling and all, I saw that there were actually 2 other homes that sold right on Mill Hill Lane. 83 has a big privacy fence, so I don't have a lot of, you know, pictures of it. Maybe you could zoom in, but 83 Mill Hill
Right
Lane
next to it.
just sold in March of this year for $1,275,000. Similar acreage, 2,900 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath colonial. And 101 Mill Hill Lane sold October 2nd of 2020. So I'm not sure why that wasn't on the appraisal. For $1,300,000. A little smaller on the acreage, less than 3,300 square feet, and definitely a 1970s kind of modern colonial. It's got some interesting roof lines, you know, which is probably why it wasn't on the, but that's 4 bedrooms, plus a 1 bedroom, 1 bath guest cottage, which I think is over the garage. So I'll give you the prices. The comps had pricing of $1,000,001. Oh, let me get that. $1,118,000, $1,002,000, $1 million, and then the couple of other houses down the street sold for $1,275,000 and $1,003,000. So
Go ahead, Ronique.
So you're saying, yeah, this is Ronique. So 83 Mill Hill, right next door, sold for $1,003,000. I would see that. I can't believe they didn't put that on the appraisal. What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and
1,275,000.
Harold, yeah, 275. So I mean, Harold, I mean, you know this too. Like Mill Hill Lane is a very nice secluded road, right? It's that little tiny road off of Mill Hill. It's very secluded. It's a great street. Everyone and that whole neighborhood has gorgeous houses. I had to do some more digging on 83, but if that was most comparable and that sold for almost 1.3 and they're requesting 1.1, I don't see how that makes sense. But
Yeah, this is Kathleen. Was that comp is only 2,900 square feet, right? The neighbor's house?
Yes, and it
Yeah,
closed.
and they're at 4,400 or
Closed
something?
March of this year. March
Yeah.
of this. So, yes, for $1,275,000, but 101 Mill Hill Lane sold for $1,003,000 October 2nd of 2020.
oh, right.
That's the one I was like, oh, I don't know why that wasn't on. I mean, it's a definite, you know, much more. It's a 1970 colonial. It's not a 1926 colonial. But that was less than 3,300 square feet. I mean, 1,500 square feet smaller.
I'm ready to vote.
That's okay.
This is John. I just have one question.
Of course.
And again, it's more towards Kathleen and Harold since they're the elder statespeople on the board. I do see that there for the 2018 grand list, there was a change by the BAA and on March 20th of 19. Do either of you recall this at all? If I had to guess, it was because they were in the middle of building the permit. We're going to build the permit or something like that, pull the permit.
Didn't they buy it recently too? Yeah, they purchased it in December of 18. So they probably came in and asked for their sale price, which is what happens often with that.
Okay.
Although this was a GL, what was it, a year later, but they may have brought their sale price in and, even though it wasn't a 2015 sale, often people.
Yeah, 3 months later, they brought in or 4 months later, they brought in their sale price.
Yeah, so I'm
Okay.
guessing that's what it was.
Okay.
This is Harold. I would also point out that the house next to it, at 15 Mill Hill Lane, is a new spec-built house, owner builder, and it is on the market for 1.899 million. It's on the market, hasn't sold, brand new construction.
It's a nice area.
And I hear the neighbors, great.
I know I'm a little biased though.
Well, I used to know the fire chief who lived up there, Mr. Boone. Daniel Boone.
Yeah.
And you will.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anybody need more time? If not, I'll call a vote. All those in favor of granting this appeal to the requested value, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. The vote is 0-6-0. The motion fails. The appeal is not granted. Anybody want to do another?
Because we were looking at Fairfield Beach Road, I mean, Harold and I were kind of looking at one property that we already voted on, but it would be a quick rejection. I don't know if you guys want to take a look at that really quick. It's one appeal.
I thought we were going to save those to.
Should we bring this to the table now, or should we wait?
I think
we're doing the others.
Yeah, this is Kathleen. I think we said earlier we were going to try to do all the any of the ones that people want to reconsider. We'll do them on Monday when we have everybody available.
Okay.
And once we've decided on everybody, because people are still waiting, so I feel like we should concentrate on the people who are waiting.
I think we should finish the ones that we have to do before we bring more to the table. In other words, let everybody get their first plate before we go back for seconds.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Catherine, do you want to do one more, or you're good for the night?
I know I have only 4 left. I can't do another. I'm still waiting for a little tweaking. I just got to feel like I have a better feel for numbers. Sorry, I would have loved to, but.
No, that's okay. I mean, I can do a couple commercial, or you can call it a night, whatever you want to do.
I think the time is 9:04, and in consideration of the other members of the board and the people who are taking our minutes, and Ross, I think I'll ask for an adjournment. So is there
I'll
anyone
make the
who would like
motion to adjourn.
to adjourn? Okay, and it's seconded by Peter. So I would ask the members who are present to please try to be available as much as you can in the next few days so that we can complete our sworn duties to the best of our abilities and get the job done for the town of Fairfield.
Yeah, I think we're close to a quorum, right? We are on for tomorrow night, right?
Yes, we are on Thursday night, and I believe also the morning session is being scheduled for Friday.
On Friday, right, but we can get more done tomorrow night. I think Alexis is on tomorrow night. Peter's done. I've got commercial. And Ronique, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I couldn't come on for tomorrow, only from like 4 to 5. I forgot I had plans tomorrow. I thought it was for Friday. Do you guys still have a quorum or for tomorrow night?
If Catherine's on, if John and Peter are on, yes.
I'm
we have-
on.
We have 5.
Okay, thank you. I felt so terrible. I'm like, I put it on the calendar wrong, and I'm like, oh gosh.
Thank you. Thank you for
Hey,
No
you're gonna-
worries.
giving
Does
of your
Monday-
time this
But
evening.
next week, okay. Talk about it.
Luckily you weren't in your pajamas yet.
No.
Catherine, you're on mute.
Yes,
No,
You
Catherine.
don't know.
What's the start time tomorrow? I need to know the start time for Thursday.
I can only start at 6.
Or
Right.
6 the start time? Okay,
Do you want to, I mean,
I
give me
don't
one
think-
second. Let me look and see if we can do 5. I don't know. That would be if we could get a quorum at 5. So that would be, Monique, you said you could only do until 5, right?
I can do, yes. I
5
can
to
only-
6.
Let me,
I believe Ronnie said 5 to 6.
So Harold,
Yes,
Kathleen, Catherine, Ronique. So it would be.
I can
if
do 5 to 6.
Paulette or if Paulette or Judy would do 5 to 6. I don't know. I'd have to ask them.
Okay.
I can do 5
we
to
could-
6.
Okay, so let's try for 5, and with John and Peter joining us at 6, we can use every hour we have, and if
And
I will
Alexis.
let you know once. Alexis is at 6. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So
All right, 5 o'clock for an hour to clean up. And thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.
good
Thank you
night.
all.
Good
good night.
night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks.
Good night.